Hi everyone, it's me again, your instructor. I wanted to show you your syllabus and go over a couple of important issues. So again, I hovered over the word courses, I selected our course from the drop-down menu, and then I'm going to click on the hyperlink for the course syllabus. Before I do, I wanted to show you, if you hover over this, it'll give you a preview. You can't print previews. If you hover over this, it'll open it in a new window, which you may or may not prefer. So I always just click on the actual underlined hyperlink, and then things always work normally. Just don't click on that preview button, or you can end up frustrated when you go to print something. Now I went ahead and entered Canvas using Internet Explorer, which is the most common browser, and I wanted to show you why the Canvas people try to discourage us from using Explorer. Everything I click on, I get these little information boxes saying, are you sure you want to open it? And what do you want to do? And it's blocked some content, things like that. So that's the biggest problem I've run into with Internet Explorer, is that I get a lot more error messages than if I use Chrome or Firefox. I haven't tried it on Opera or Safari. Okay, so here's our syllabus. As you can see at the top, I am yelling at you to print and save this document. I really do encourage you to do that. I have a lot of students who will ask me questions that are on the syllabus. And if you read your syllabus, if you have a question and you read the syllabus first, you'll save yourself some typing, and you'll save me having to reply to you by copying and pasting content off of the syllabus that you should have read. So just go ahead and read it, know it, and love it, as I yelled at you at the top there. So, all right, so this is General Psych, Psych 100. This is the basic course information. There's my name, Jolene Grover Seaver. You can call me Jill, Dr. Seaver, whatever you feel comfortable with is fine with me. If you want to send an email, one of the things about Canvas that's unusual is that we have this inbox over here on the right-hand side. When you click on the inbox, which I'm not going to do because I have people's emails in there, and that's probably not right to show you. But what you'll find is that there's on the left side all the messages that you've ever received or participated in, and then on the right side you can make a new message. So the right side is where you create. If you click on an existing message over in the left side, it'll automatically set you up to make a reply to that message. If you're initiating a new message, then you need to use the address book icon, and it's just a little button to click that will drop down, and you can pick who you want to address it to. It's usually easiest to just send a reply to a message that's already in the inbox. I'd like to point out that if you come back into the classroom after a few days of not having been in the classroom, and you see that there is an inbox message from me, please make sure that you scroll down. You know what? I'm going to invade somebody's privacy. It's from last quarter anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and open my inbox and show you that in my classes, I don't know if this person is one who I might have made more than one comment to, but see, I've got a message from me, a message from me, there's a message from her. Then we get down here and we've got a message, well, that was a message from me through the psych sim. Here's a message from me. See, I usually say more things than students say back to me. So what I'd like you to make sure that you do is scroll down, and if you've seen one message from me, scroll down and make sure that there's not another one buried under there that you might not see, that you might not have seen otherwise. So don't just assume that you've only gotten one message from me, in other words. The inbox button will show how many messages you have that you haven't read before, but once you go into the inbox, that number gets cleared out, whether you've literally read those messages or not. So please scroll down and make sure that you've seen any messages that might have come from me all in a row, because like I said, I tend to say more to you than you'll say back to me. Here's our textbook. We're using Exploring Psychology 9th edition. The most common question I get is it okay for me to use the 8th or the 7th or the 6th edition? And so what I'd like to do is point you to the bottom of the textbook, bottom of the syllabus. I have a little section called textbook. Let's scroll down. In fact, let's go ahead and page rapidly. At the very bottom, I've answered some of these questions where, because a lot of people ask me this, can I use a different version of the text? Where is there it is. Do I really need the newest edition? I have based everything in this class on the current edition. So the quizzes, the midterms, everything that we're doing in the class is based on the current edition. I can tell you that the 9th edition of this particular book is significantly rearranged compared to the 8th edition. So this is one of those cases where it would be really difficult for you to use a different edition and have any sense of where you are in the book. But it's completely up to you what book to use. If you want to order a different book entirely, you can. But I'm just telling you, everything in my class is based on the 9th edition of Exploring Psychology by David G. Myers. I've gotten a complaint from a bookstore about the fact that I provide this information for you about alternative versions of the textbook. The textbook comes, when I order a textbook from the bookstore, I'm really only able to tell the bookstore one kind of book, or else the bookstore gets the impression that I'm requiring all the different formats and it gets very confusing. So I order either the loose leaf or the paperback. I usually try and get one of the less expensive ones for you. But if you wish, and the bookstore really can't carry the ebook as an option. And I wouldn't want to order the ebook for everybody because some of you don't want to read an ebook. So what I've done is I've down here told you there are other options. If you would like to read the book as an e-text, it's only about $42 and you can buy it through the publisher's website. It's also available in loose leaf and paperback. So if the version that's in the bookstore is too expensive for you, there are cheaper alternatives than what's there. Just make sure, like I said, that you get the edition that you want to get. Make sure that you're getting the author that we intended. This is what the book looks like on the outside, whether you're talking ebook, loose leaf, paperback, hardbound, no matter what version you get it, it will have the same cover. The author is the same. There's in fact a newer version where it's been altered to correspond to the DSM-5. I haven't even seen that book. I don't care whether it corresponds to the DSM-5 for the purposes of this class. I'm sure that would be a fine version. It's available in modules. There are a lot of different formats. It's all the same basic book. As long as you're getting the 9th edition, Exploring Psychology by David G. Myers, you'll be fine. So I don't want the bookstore to think I'm trying to undermine their book sales. I'm just trying to let you guys know that there are other options that might fit your needs better. So that's my intent with that. I assume most of you are going to buy your book through the bookstore. So that's textbook information. The other thing that I've provided for you is a link to the publisher's website, which you're going to need if you choose the PsychSim alternative, which I'll talk about in another video. And also I just wanted to point out, it not only has those homework assignments, but it has practice quizzes that give you instantaneous feedback about your right or wrong answers. So whereas our weekly quizzes, you have to wait until the deadline has passed in order to find out which ones you've missed, you can practice, and it won't harm your grade at all to practice at the publisher's website and get instant feedback about how you're doing. The website also has flashcards, which a lot of you enjoy studying using flashcards, so these are kind of handy because they're already made up with the most important terms and things like that. And then there are other things that if you go to this website, you'll be just amazed at the free and open resources that are at this website. It's one of the factors that helped to determine that I picked this book, that there's just so much available for students who want to take advantage of it. And then the last website I wanted to point out in this little video, or whatever we call these lectures, is the Discovering Psychology videos link. This is the main link to all the videos, and then you're going to want to pick the video that's appropriate for each week's lectures. The videos are optional, but I really strongly encourage that you watch them. They are really well done videos that illustrate, for example, when we're talking about thinking errors and heuristic devices, the host of the show, Phil Zimbardo, who is the world's greatest teacher of psychology, brings in the original researchers who did research on the topic, and they demonstrate how they discovered these thinking errors or how the thinking errors work and things like that. I mean, it just brings psychology to life in a way that, even though David Myers is such a great writer, it's just not the same to read it as it is to watch it. So I really can't encourage you enough to watch the Discovering Psychology videos. They only take 23 minutes per episode. In our heaviest week, there's only 4 videos that apply. So, if you don't have time to read, these are a good substitute. I mean, they're just, I can't suggest strongly enough that you watch those. The last thing on this first page of the syllabus is the things that you probably already considered when you were signing up for this class, the course description, and then basically what we're going to be doing in this course. So that's good enough for this video. In the next video, I'll talk about the weekly modules and the things that are due each week.